Freestyle.
Yo, welcome back to another episode of Freestyle Anime Podcast. I'm your host, Rico, with CJ and Maul.
Yo.
Let's go, man. We brought some special guests in today, some special guests that we made acquaintance. You know, we met at Anime Rally, and they had a dope panel as well, and very informing, some stuff that I didn't know about this. I know we usually do anime, but we're going to talk about something that's borderline anime. And these two guys are Manny and Mitchel, man. They do panelists over more than 5 cons about Boondocks and also Anime Music Challenge. So, man, we got Manny and Mitchel in the building.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's going on, everybody? What's going on?
We all know Boondocks is the #1 cartoon ever. You know, we all know. If you don't know about Boondocks, you ain't there yet.
That's why
I'll even say it's actually anime too. Not even borderline. I think it's anime fully.
You think it's anime?
I'll take it.
100%.
Hands that went into creating it, I think you can call it anime.
The show wasn't made by American studios at all. It was the first season, I think, was made by Dongwoo, which was a Korean studio, and then the second and third seasons were kind of made between Korea and Japan. So, it kind of has to be anime, right? If it's
y'all hear that? Y'all hear that? This is why I wanted them on, bro.
It's official. Boondocks
you see the shit that they're already teaching us. We didn't even get into the good stuff yet, and they're already teaching us and correcting. You feel me? And that's how it was in your panel.
Low key though. If Boondocks is considered anime, does it push down some of your top 5? Because it got pushed down. Boondocks considered anime, bro. And some of y'all got to take some L's.
100%. 100%. I believe so.
Oh yeah.
Of course.
Let's say that part for a little later before we get a little spicy, man. So for our fans, man, kind of want to introduce you guys to Manny and Mitchel. So Manny, man, where are you guys from, bro? Give me a little rundown, just who you guys are, how'd you guys end up getting to this partnership and stuff like that. Whoever want to go first, go ahead, and we just want to let our fans know who are the two guys behind the panel, man.
Yeah, man. Well, first of all, thank you guys for having us. I really appreciate it. Really definitely enjoyed your panel at Anime. It was extremely, extremely fun. I didn't expect to get so involved in it. But your anime raid game was very fun, and I was, it felt good helping carry my partner to victory sometimes. So that was good as well. So fun times had by all. So thank y'all for doing that and then showing us love and coming to our panel as well. I'm originally from Darlington, South Carolina, so I'm from a small town. And then I ended up going to Duke. And so I lived in Durham for a while and then went to Howard and lived in DC for a while. And then I decided to go work in LA for a while, spent some time out there.
Nice.
So it was always my dream to go to the West Coast, and then came back to the East Coast for a while. And so I've kind of settled back in the DC area. And that's where I am now. It's kind of where most of the Fatal Fanatics stuff is happening, where most of the cons that we attend also happen in that area as well.
Okay.
And then that's where I'm from. And then I met Mitchel. Mitchel's brother and I went to school together, and so kind of met through then. And then he found out he loved anime, and then boom, that's how that happened. So.
Yeah, I feel you.
Nice. So what was your perspective of getting to meet Manny Mitchel, and where are you from as well too?
Yeah, so I'm from the Northern Virginia area. Born in Centerville, Virginia, and moved around there a little bit, and I'm now reside in Richmond, Virginia. Went to school up in Pittsburgh for a little while, but yeah, when me and Manny first met, we kind of just stayed in touch, online. It was during the time when Facebook and all that kind of stuff was just starting to pop off.
Mhm.
Yep.
Interestingly enough, so social media kind of played a big role in that. But
Right.
the anime conventions, we had both got introduced to them separately, and so when we found out that that was something that we had in common, and Manny told me he had an idea for a panel that he was going to put on,
Mhm.
and this could sound a little cheesy, but any way that you can get into a con for free, anything that you can do to get the cost down, it was like definitely something I'm on board with. And I figured, I like to take photos, and I had a pretty decent camera at the time. So I was like, let me go ahead and record the panels, because then we can clip up the videos and
Yeah.
post them online so that we can get more traction and also use those to sell it going forward.
Great idea. Great
So
concept.
Manny,
I love that.
what sparked that idea for you, other than trying to get in these cons for free, my guy?
I for the anime music challenge, so that was like the first panel that we decided to start doing on
Yeah.
under the Fatal Fanatics banner, and I'm one of those guys that I love anime music. I love listening to openings, especially if they're bangers. So like right
Yeah.
now, if you're sitting with me and we're watching Solo Leveling, we are listening to that opening. I'm sorry, it is what it
Every
is. You're
time,
not-
bro.
every single. It's Hiroyuki Sawano. It's Hiroyuki Sawano. We're not gonna skip a banger by Hiroyuki Sawano.
I ain't gonna lie. I kind of
You get the one time.
Now there are
You
some
get the
songs,
one time.
but that I agree with that. You get the one time on some songs that are like, all right, it was cool, but like things that you like, I really like. I mean, I really like, and those things that stick with me, and that and they stuck with me. But they also, I found out that certain openings like Bluebird sticks with anime fans all over the world all the time. Like,
Yeah.
if you hear Gurren no Yamaya, the first opening of Attack on Titan, you're gonna know exactly what that is. So so like I wanted to create a game, and I noticed there were other like name that tomb type games, but they were all kind of boring, and like they didn't have any sort of like interaction, no sort of like actual design, no flair, no presentation. And also they weren't done by people that look like us. So I was like, well, let me decide, and my friends come in as well, because Mitchell, and then my buddy Nate was there for the first one as well. We decided to put together that panel, and that first year, I think there's a picture on Facebook still. You just look out, and that it was packed. I don't think there was an empty seat in that entire like room. And I was like,
standing in the back.
yeah, with people standing in the back. And I was like, wow, I was like, okay, that has to be just because like it's our local con. They know, they may know us. Like,
Yeah.
So we took it to Atlanta, Anime Weekend Atlanta, and had not only the same response. This was after like we didn't even get a chance like really publicize it, because they like brought us in last minute, and it filled up, people standing in the back. So we knew we had something that was pretty golden there with that challenge. So, and we've done it like everywhere, BlurredCon, AWA, Animazement, like everywhere. So it's really taken off, and like really proud of it.
This was all in 2018, right? The BlurredCon and everything. The first two you started.
The first anime music challenge was did in 2015 at Animazement. That was our first con that me and Mitchell did together. Yeah. My first con was Anime Expo in LA. So it was one of the biggest conventions, like anime conventions in the country. And so, but after that, I was like, all right, I really love this. Like, this is a great, like, I love this atmosphere, I love this feeling. I love being around so many people like in nerd culture. So I just wanted to just dive in head first, and with the Anime Music Challenge, it allowed us to get in for free and do something that we love. And I still listen to anime music. I listen to anime music in my car. Like I don't like I am.
I'm gonna introduce you to Tyreek.
I
can have a car ride where y'all just jam out.
Hey,
Tyreek be driving with his anime music playing too. I'd be like,
"There's some song. Hey, you drive with Bluebird bumping, boy." You tell me you bumping.
Are you telling me you can if you put that Samurai Champloo soundtrack on?
Yes. Yeah.
Hey, listen, I would listen to it. I would 1,000% listen to it. Don't get me wrong. I would definitely listen to it. But anime intros for the whole ride?
No, I mean, okay, let's be reasonable.
So, I was a J-pop fan before I started watching anime, so a lot of that music kind of just like meshes together. And I listen to a lot of J-pop and K-pop, so it really just depends on the style of the songs itself. But this stuff will very easily flow through my YouTube music playlist, like on any of the tracks. Like, but
Rico put me on this one song. I can't get it out of my head. I gotta play it all the time. Rico, what's that song right here?
Play it while we on, bro. If it'll let me,
that'd be dope.
If it'll let me play it.
And CJ wearing the #1 headband. You got Wu-Tang Clan, like that music from Afro Samurai. Come on,
Afro Samurai all day, baby.
Let me see if it'll let me play y'all boys. I don't know if it will. Let me see.
Hey, we lit. Your punch pad
me and CJ,
I didn't know the punch pad was gonna work.
We just put it on our pad, our punch pad and stuff. And
I know that.
And this song's about a dude that lost his girl. It's so lit, but he's sad. It's a sad song.
He's sad, but it's lit. Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah,
it's from a Yakuza game.
Yeah,
I don't know if y'all played those back in the day. The Yakuza games.
Yeah. Oh yeah. From PlayStation and those games.
I have a question though to ask y'all though. When you guys was saying the room was packed, and how was that feeling though to go in that room and see when people standing? Like, do you not crack under pressure? Like, you seen that? I'm pretty sure you guys didn't expect that. So how was that to even just witness experience? I want to know how was it for you guys during it, then after. How was it? How was it for you guys?
I'll let you. Yeah,
man. For me, it was easy because I'm kind of always the behind the scenes guy. Manny I like to dance and do a lot of other stuff. So Manny likes to try and get me out there to help entertain. But
right.
The biggest thing for me is that when you're in your element like that, you don't really think about what's in front of you. But I know Manny has, done some theater in his past. I danced. I used to sing in the choir, and so I played in the band growing up too. I've done enough stuff in front of audiences that it really wasn't anything to me to have that happen. But when you're jamming out to, music, like especially anime music, the whole point of that to me is escapism. So that's really, you're not thinking about anything else during that time. And to be able to have that many other people enjoying that moment with you, that's what conventions are all about to me. And that's why I keep going back to them every year.
Makes sense.
I feel you.
So was just want to make sure I got this right. Was Anime Expo your first con you guys did the panel at? Or was that your first con?
No. It was Animazement. Yeah, Animazement, which we consider kind of our home con. There was a guy, he's no longer running. He's no longer the head of the panels there. He actually just stepped down. His name was Sean Miller. And he was been very influential in just helping us stay on the schedule for Animazement almost every year. Animazement is a convention in Raleigh, North Carolina, Memorial Day weekend every year. So it always conflicts with MomoCon in Atlanta. So people are always having to pick between the two, which kind of sucks because I would love to go to MomoCon one year, but I do feel kind of a kindred connection to Animazement because they gave us our first shot and they continue to support us to the point where last year, and that's what matters, right? Like, and so to the point where last year they were like, hey, and Sean was very like big in pushing them to consider us to be featured panelists. And at Animazement, when you're a featured panelist, you have to give X amount of hours of content, usually about 12 hours of content, and in order to be noted as featured panelists. But in exchange for that, they give you a certain number of free badges, a hotel room, and parking privileges and stuff like that. So, you know, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. And so we did that last year. And I honestly think we knocked it out the park. We created a whole intro video. Thanks my boy Hefe for doing that. I created a whole intro video about the experience that we continue to use today as like our promo video. So, and so like it's that connection is so strong that this year they've asked us to come back and be featured panelists again. So we're kind of breaking that news here that
let's go.
We will be featured panelists at Animazement again in 2024. So yeah, thank you. So see us the end of May for that. If you really want to come out, you want to see the Boondocks panel, it will return. You want an anime music challenge, it will return. You want the anime trivia challenge, which will be debuting at AwesomeCon, that'll be there, as well as our Samurai Champloo panel. We'll also have some of our friends in the cosplay community. Our girl Sailor Leon cosplay and her partner did an Otaku Sleuth panel. They'll probably be bringing that back. Charlie Rocket cosplay and her partner JJ, they'll be probably joining us. So we will have a nice cast of characters there. So yeah, definitely come out and support. Yeah, that's. We love anime.
That's fire in the booth, my guy. That's fire in the booth, my guy.
You're killing it, bro.
He found out he used the punch back. He about to go crazy.
You know I'm going crazy tonight.
For real.
But man, that's exciting news, bro. We're proud of you, bro. That's y'all paved the way, man, for us to get in. Like y'all don't know, but
hey, y'all are 100% like come through, like support, like come through. Y'all got like we support y'all support us. We uplift each other, bro. Let's do that shit.
No, for sure. So BlurCon. So how's BlurCon for you guys?
I'm ready for the story. I'm ready for the tea. I've been patient enough.
Well, first I just want to say like I have like the utmost respect for Hilton George. He's one of the founders of BlurCon. We lost one of the other founders of BlurCon, Haas. He passed away, so we do remember him. But Hilton is like still carrying the torch real strong, and he's just like amazing. He's done a great job creating a very safe environment for blurs, Black nerds, and other people who are supportive of Black nerds in the DC metro area. And so, my first time at BlurCon, I believe I don't know if it was your first time too, was their second year. I didn't go to the first year of BlurCon, but I went to the second year of BlurCon. And we did the Anime Music Challenge that year as well there. And I mean, it was fun. Like I said, that second, it was, I immediately thought that this was going to be a convention that was going to have some staying power. And it has. We've been every year since then. And it is probably the blackest con, that you will attend outside of another con in Texas.
Another con in Texas. I'm dead. I know.
Yeah, I think it's blacker than AWA. Really? I do. I definitely do. Yeah. But AWA is
funny enough, I didn't hear the term blurred until very recently.
It's also the way it's set up.
Really? It is a fairly recent term. In terms of
I heard that.
Yeah, it is a very recent term.
Hold on, say that one more time, Mitchell, because I heard you, but when TJ came in, it kind of like cut you off a little bit. But say that one more time. I know we have like a little time lag. And also shout out to Charlotte Podcast Studio for sponsoring us and allowing us to host our podcast, our home studio in North Carolina when we go out there. So shout out to them. Shout out to Alan Lux over there with Charlotte Podcast. And shout out to Maul for getting everything situated. So if you do hear a little latency or they're in the studio, we got them on our riverside. We in Florida. Me and CJ still in Florida, but they're all in North Carolina together. But say that one more time for me, Mitchell. What you just said about AWA.
Oh yeah, I mean the thing about BlurredCon, and my favorite
about
thing
AWA. It was about what we saying.
right.
Yeah.
So
No, that's what he's saying.
it's not just about the turnout; it's also about the way the con is set up. The
Right.
AWA is very much. I'm not gonna say cookie cutter because every anime convention has its own character, but there isn't anything specifically culture based to me about AWA. Its proximity to Atlanta is what brings out that turnout, whereas BlurredCon is intentionally set up to be based for and in the culture. You know, you get DJs spinning around the clock at BlurredCon, which is not something that I've had at any other convention I've been to, which means that there is always a dance floor, which is my favorite thing.
I'm with you, bro. Me and you, we're right here. I fucking love
perform.
dancing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You really do.
Bro, I
You
mean,
really do.
like, I that is always my favorite thing, and that is always why I go back to BlurredCon, and you'll always find me downstairs in the game room because that's where the DJ is always spinning. So that it's great.
Gotta go check it out one day.
Yeah.
So when is
do it this year.
BlurredCon?
BlurredCon this year is in July. I want to say it's the second weekend in July, like July 8th through the 10th, somewhere around that time. It's usually in July though.
It's always mid to late July.
Yeah.
So it's around the same time as SuperCon, because SuperCon around that time.
But isn't also in DreamCon too though around that time?
Yeah, DreamCon this
No,
year
DreamCon's in
is
October, I think.
DreamCon this year is in the end of July, like the last weekend in July, and then Otakon is the first weekend in August. Okay. So yeah,
It's like DreamCon is July
Summer is
25th,
super
26th.
Yes.
So Mitchell, you like the DJ. So when we was at Anime Rally, did you go into the room that had the rapper in it? The what was that rapper, Rico? We went in there and they was rapping. But yeah. So crazy story. We walked in, me, Rico, and Maul caught
He
up
wasn't
there
with us.
later.
He was
But,
with us.
they had this rapper in there, and I don't know. He looked pretty famous. They looked like they all knew him. I had never heard of him before. And we walked in, and it was just a group of us. And, we all colored people, black people. And he even was just like, I seen a whole bunch of black people walk in. They probably like, what the hell is going on? I was like, bro.
He was rapping about pizza. He was rapping about
It was
pizza.
just a funny occasion. I was just like, what is going on, bro?
You're introducing me to this because I don't remember that from anime.
He had some type of thing done to his mic, some type of tune. What's it called? Done to his mic. I think that's what too. He was rapping on a special mic.
Auto tune,
yeah.
This guy.
What was his name? If I can remember his name, it was like DJ something, or like.
Find it on.
I might have to go on the page and find it for you.
Right. Oh damn! I'm gonna turn the light on.
I'm mad. I missed that now, but
it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. People was in there dancing.
Yeah,
it was in there dancing.
They were killing it.
It was on the second level. Oh, it was on the same level that you came in on, but like it was towards the back.
It was wild.
So
yeah, no, we were downstairs most of the time. So.
Yeah.
So
that's one thing
you,
about some of the smaller cons, like anime. It's just like placement of event spaces, like making sure that people know where everything is happening.
Right.
Like if you're not on top of your map, sometimes you'll miss stuff just because of that. When you're in those, like, because you're in the convention center, if you're not using the whole convention center, you got to know where things are happening, where it's not.
Right. You're right.
You're right. I can see that.
It was just a funny story. Cause
question for you.
What's going on, Rico?
Can't mean to cut you off. My boy. So Fatal Phoenix, after kind of hearing you say it, so you guys do multiple panels. So it's not just the Boondocks panel. So you have multiple different panels. Can you talk a little bit about some of the different panels you do, and also why did you guys choose Boondocks?
Oh yeah, sure. So Fatal Fanatics, we have we started off with the Anime Music Challenge, but as you go on with cons, that you can't just keep doing the same thing over and over again. You have to kind of do new things so that people don't get bored of the same old thing. So, I started, thinking and theorizing like, okay, what, and one thing I like to do when I go to cons is I like to go to other panels. I like to go to see other panels of things that I'm interested in. I go see panels of things that I don't know anything about, just to see, how other people present things and just, ways that they, present information or deliver things, and see if, there are ways that I can always improve things that I'm doing. And then I try to also see what things are missing in the discourse at cons. And so the first thing that I immediately saw was that there was like very little focus on people of color and like characters that are people of colors in anime. And so, I knew that I grew up on the Boondocks. There was big contention on whether Boondocks was even considered anime. Aaron Magruder thinks it's anime. He drew it in anime style. So it was intended to be that. So I was like, well, I think this should be presented at conventions. And I feel like I know I have a knowledge base about it. And so I started creating that, building that up from kind of scratch. And then as that started happening, I started like, well, Carl Jones is going to be at DreamCon. Carl Jones, executive producer, voice of Thugnificent, voice of the Booty Warrior. Talked to him and got more information
He was the
from
voice
him. The Booty Warrior. It's more important than food. It's more important than water.
It's more important than food.
And we can use the easy way or the
hard
hard
way.
The choice is yours.
And it always yes. So we built that up from the ground up, and then you start meeting people and talking to other people, and it just built from there. I had a love for Samurai Champloo, one of my favorite Adult Swim Toonami cartoons. Has one of the best soundtracks in anime as well. So I was like, I want to do something that tributes, Nujabes and this and the artistry of Samurai Champloo. And so you start realizing that there are things that what you're passionate in, other people are also passionate in as well, especially. And if you can deliver in a way that's entertaining and interesting, you can get people to keep coming back and buying in and like actually have enough. And then you realize, wow, I have now 6 panels that we can actually do, and with more in development. So it's a really a good feeling.
That's good.
I bet it sounds like it's a great feeling. We need to get on that wave. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah,
get on that wave.
You guys have so many interests. So like you guys have so many interests. So you have panels galore just staring you in the face like that. That whole your game, the whole game panel is you was fantastic. You can branch that in so many different directions. I'm excited to see what you guys produce.
We got some things coming up.
Yeah, you hyping us up now. I'm all hyped for it. I'm ready to go out there and do these game shows.
Yeah, the game shows are fun because it's something that gets people engaged.
Yeah.
But
for
the Anime Music Challenge specifically, I think that there's an element of some folks that like to come and play the game, and there's some folks that just like to come to listen to the songs. Because I know a lot of folks get introduced to new music that way. They get introduced to new shows that way, because for a lot of people, the music is kind of like the draw for anime, or like that's the thing that they kind of take away from it. And that's why, especially for folks that watch the shows and they don't skip the intros, the song becomes like kind of an anchor for certain moments in the show episodes. And so there's a lot that carries with it. And so I think that's why the Anime Music Challenge has been so critical and has been so consistent, is because everybody takes something different from it.
Right. Okay. Some people just like to skip the intro sometimes. Sometimes people trying to get back to where we left off. I'm not defending myself. Yes, you are.
What did you say, nigga?
There's nothing wrong with skipping intros. If there's something one that I like, I'm gonna listen to it. I'm not saying I don't skip intros. I do skip intros sometimes, like especially if I'm into like a show. Like, yeah, if it's like a mystery
like
show or a drama, I need that shit. I need to just get to
Exactly.
it.
Shows like to end the episode right when shit get good. So I'm just trying to get back to that. Like I'm like, what you doing? You know what I'm saying?
We only got so much time. You know, you gotta make the best of it. So
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, I feel you. You feel me? Sometimes I'm watching at work.
Nah, for real. So CJ, I
Trying to
found
make
the
sure I'm not
rapper.
steam, you know what I'm saying?
I found the rapper CJ.
What was his name?
I'm gonna
What
show
was
you
his
right
name?
now. His name was MC Chris. This was
Yes,
Chris
it was
was
MC
dope.
Chris.
No,
It
we
was
did-
MC Chris.
We
Yes.
did see him perform.
Yes, we
They
did see
had
him
a whole
perform.
concert for
We
him.
did see him perform.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
yeah.
does he
He-
use auto
he
tune
was
or am I
Meatwad.
wrong?
He's also the voice of Meatwad when old boy is not. The other dude is not. Yeah. He
He's
is
the voice of Meatwad?
Yeah, he's yes. When there's so it's like I think there's two voices of Meatwad. He's the voice of Meatwad when Meatwad's rapping. Otherwise,
right.
it's
The episodes
yeah.
when he was doing his music, MC Chris was
MC
the one that made the songs.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. I didn't know
Meatwad's
that.
hilarious. Him, Shake. I used to love Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Let me tell you something. It's up there with Boondocks. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Definitely not anime, but
And
it is a great show.
and it's exactly.
Amazing cartoon.
I'm glad you said it's like the Boondocks. So that's why Adult Swim picked it up. That's why Mike Lazo is, and you heard that at the Adult Swim panel they had at Anime when all the Adult Swim people there. Mike Lazo, who was the former Adult Swim president, is like one of the reasons why Adult Swim is what it is today. He's the one that took a chance on Aqua Teen. He's the one that took a chance on Sea Life. He's the one that took a chance on Boondocks. He's the one that bought all these properties and made them what like they are today, and everyone talks about how much they love working for him. So big shouts out to Mike Lazo for letting people like actually do what they want to do.
I feel you. Mike Lazo turn us into a TV show. I guarantee I'll have people rolling. Freestyle Anime Podcast as a TV show. I guarantee we have people rolling. We could just show them our bloopers.
So from over all the years, from all the cons that you guys have attended, what is the culture or the shift that you guys have noticed from, let's say 2015 is like the oldest I heard you said that your first con was, from now we're in 2024, what have you noticed that has changed in these anime cons, for good or for bad, whichever one you want to share? Both of you guys.
Be honest, you see more of this. You see more Miller nowadays.
I mean, yeah, you definitely do. You definitely do see that. But I think you also see more of appreciation of this in anime now as well. Like before, there was less of appreciation of, black and brown skin characters in anime. Right. It just was our representation.
I ain't gonna lie, I love Dragon Ball Z to death, but we gotta have a conversation about Mr. Popo at some time. Sometime we gotta have a conversation about Mr. Popo.
I get so offended when people put him in like black characters. And I'm like, no, we do not claim him. We do not claim him.
Claimed him. So like, my brother brought it up to me like a couple of days ago. I was just like, why are you claiming him?
I'm like, I don't claim him. No.
Though. He cool character. Cool. I just feel like his design was like
he's cool, but the racial caricature of him is not.
You reach, bro.
Popo is human or not?
I mean, he's probably not.
He's an immortal.
Yeah, he's probably not.
Apparently immortal, because he used to work for the last Guardian on the tower before Kami, so he has to be old as like whatever. But it's not the point. Okay, just drawing eyes on a black shape
with the giant lips. Y'all
did us dirty. We gonna get our get back. Y'all did us dirty. We was
it Akira Toriyama? We watching you. You on the watch list.
We gonna get that back. We gonna get our get back.
Yes, Jinx also is a problem. Yes,
Jinx was for Pokemon, also a problem. We gonna get our get back. We gonna spin this.
I'm not gonna lie. I can't let you slide. I don't think you good at that I don't know if
Yeah, I'm still waiting.
Damn it. Oh, that's good.
you don't need a name
Oh
drop.
man,
You know,
I'm not trying to name drop.
you don't need a name drop.
There was. Oh man. There was there was an incident, and I don't know if it had anything to do with any guests that we had. This is the second year of BlurCon, and well, yeah, of the con. We'll just the con, and go ahead and bleep that first part out.
We can bleep that out.
Of the con. There was one night, so me and my buddy, we were at, just in the hotel room, just people were clearly like having fun partying, and then there was just like a banging on like this door outside, and this just like girl was banging on this guy's door, was like, "I know what you did, da 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 da, you're gonna." I was like, "Whoa!" So friends like, "What the hell's going on?" I was like, "I'm not getting involved, so I'm gonna stay in here. It's not my business." So people are coming out of their hotel rooms and looking in the hall or whatever. Eventually, the security is called from like the hotel. They're like, "Oh man, please, like, can y'all just calm down or go somewhere, because we're really not trying to get people involved.
They're not trying to ruin their night."
Like, so it escalates, and so eventually police are called, and then apparently also we go downstairs. I'm like, I don't even want to be on this hall if 5-0 is here. I'm just going to go my business elsewhere. So we went downstairs and was chilling, and then the paramedics pull up. I'm like, what? Paramedics pulling up? Well, then we see the girls wheeled out on in the thing. I was like, what is happening? They were like, yeah, and we hear like the guy whisper, "Oh yeah, she might have, taken some illicit substances." I was like, "Oh hell, you're going to jail." Eventually, the police. Now, granted, this was during the time when Black Lives Matter and stuff, so we all were down there while the cops talked to the bruh with the camera phones out, like, we're following him, everything. So brother was safe, and sister, she was safe too. Apparently everything worked out. Everybody ended up being okay. Boy, he went on his way. She ended up being okay, but it's just just craziness that can happen at con. Like, people, please, just be safe. Watch yourself. Don't take illicit substances.
Please and thank you.
Yeah. The management.
No, for real. Gotta watch out for that.
That's my story. But like I said, no name dropping, of course.
Gotcha.
No, I got you. We'll bleep that out for you, my boy. So what? Okay, so we can shift off that. What is y'all top 5 cons that y'all go to that you guys love? Obviously, Blurred is one, but and your home one, I know that for sure. But what's your other ones? What's your other 3?
I mean, I can already say mine. My next one is, I never thought, like, I was always anti-Texas. DreamCon is the only reason that I go to Texas. So it's definitely DreamCon's my next favorite.
Why anti-Texas though?
I mean, politically, how it does not lean the way that I personally lean. I think there's some
outside of the cities.
Yes, outside of the cities, outside of Austin. Austin's great. Like, I love Austin. I went to Dallas and visited. It was nice. I've been to places, but for the majority of Texas, it feels very, very, very red state-ish. And so I just not for me personally. But I do love the people, a lot of people that I met there, and I love the fact that RDC World is bringing a convention to an area that I would say is like booming and asking for that type of attention. Austin is a perfect college town. UT Austin is one of the biggest institutions out there. So to have that as your like foundation, and then you're already a well-established group, and you already have these connections and everything. It's just it's going to bring in the best. For Black content creators like ourselves, it is one of the only places where I felt like I was around like some of the like best and brightest like Black content creators. Like everybody who was anybody was there. You know, people who I've been following on like YouTube, just walking around the dealer's room, like, whoa, like you're just walking around here just regular,
Right.
like. So
Right.
DreamCon it was absolutely a dream. You know, I don't believe all the hating stuff that you might hear about, it might have been crowded and some things might not have gone,
I did hear
as
that.
expected. But hey, I think being over,
It's just the logistics of event planning.
yeah, exactly. So I think that's fine. Yeah,
and also they say they didn't prepare for that.
I think that's
First year,
fine.
they say they had 20,000 people. They're like they wasn't
They weren't prepared for
was the
that.
first year in Austin.
It wasn't
right?
prepared for
Yeah,
that many
that was
people.
in-
First year in
I can
Austin, and
understand that.
also it was they say they did not expect for 20,000 people.
Exactly.
They didn't.
How could you expect it for that?
Yeah, you was not ready for that.
When you go from like, I think they went from like 8,000 the last year to 20,000. That's a huge jump. That's like no way you.
That's a huge jump.
So
it's one thing
a great
to know
job.
that you have that kind of reach online, but then to see that translate to real world turnout, bodies in seats, ticket sales, it's a crazy thing, I'm sure, for them to deal with.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That con's special though. That con is special.
So you gave me
Mitchel,
three. You gave me three. What's your other two?
Yeah.
I got two more.
I gotta do two more. Oh shoot. I would say I have been enjoying. I love Anime Week in Atlanta. Is really, really fun. I always enjoy that, and it's kind of bittersweet this year because this is the last year was the last year it was going to be held in the Cobb Galleria downtown, and the Renaissance Waverly Cobb Galleria. So we say goodbye to the Galleria. And they're now going to move into the World Congress Center building, the same place that MomoCon is. And the date is moving from Halloween. It used to be the Halloween con. It always was held around Halloween. But now they're moving it to December. So now it's going to be just another cold con like KatsuCon. So, but it'll be fun. I love AWA. It's, a lot of people come. We get a lot of love in that area as well. Yeah. The food trucks out there are usually pretty good too. So I enjoy that.
Yeah.
As well as, yeah. Good food truck.
That's another thing that BlurCon did that I wasn't introduced to until BlurCon was the food trucks.
Food trucks.
But then AWA had that set up and I was like, okay, this is the thing that they do.
Yeah. And then I think my last one is going to be, it's not even like really an anime con per se, but I really did enjoy, like last year when we did our tabling at AwesomeCon and also did our panel at AwesomeCon, I really like AwesomeCon. It's DC's Comic-Con. So it's like San Diego Comic-Con, but like just for DC and the East Coast. And they have like all the people that you would want to get autographs for, LeVar Burton, like anybody you want. Like they just like this year they're gonna have, Rosario Dawson. She was Ahsoka, and a lot of other things. They're gonna have Anakin. So all your Star Wars people, all your like anything that you like nerdum culture is gonna be there. And then cosplay, anime. So it's a really it's an all in one con. And so those are my 5 right there. Yeah, that's
nice. What about you, Mitchell?
Yeah, definitely Animazement, definitely DreamCon. KatsuCon always will have a special place in my heart. The venue, you really
beautiful.
can't beat the Gaylord as far as the venue goes. The gazebo is kind of iconic. It has its own it has its own Instagram page.
Yeah.
Everybody loves taking photos there. It's like a very, very like cool place to shoot cosplay photos because they have so many different things with the outside areas that they have, as well as the like lobby area and the mezzanine. KatsuCon is the first convention that I ever went to in 2012, but it's also like it's a lot of fun. I met oh no, I'm gonna blank on her name. Yaya Han. One of my favorite cosplayers, Yaya Han. I met her at the first KatsuCon that I ever went to.
Nice.
But, in amazement, I always love the musical guests that they have there. I was going back and forth between wearing this shirt and wearing my Rookies is Punk t-shirt that we have. But Rookies is Punk did the opening for Durarara. So they've got a whole lot of other openings that they've done, but Complication is one of my favorite songs.
Yes, dude threw his the lead like guitarist that threw his guitar pick out in the crowd. I definitely caught it. And so I was like, yeah.
Oh, did you really?
100%. Yes.
So AZ, DreamCon, Katsu, BlurredCon, obviously. I've talked about that one plenty. And I was going back and forth between AwesomeCon and Otakon, but I liked Otakon more, believe it or not, back in Baltimore. They outgrew that space, and so it was bittersweet when they had to leave.
Goddamn skywalk, and Baltimore Convention Center always got crammed and got congested, and they asked Otakon, asked him like, please, can you please get rid of this goddamn skywalk? And they were like, you're not big enough for us to warrant $30 million of renovation. They're like, well, screw it, we're gonna go to DC.
Peace.
Yeah, it's sad. I mean, Baltimore deserves deserved a con, but you know.
So currently, Baltimore don't have a con at all.
They have ChromaCon now, but it's like just like kind of developing. But yeah, they don't have the same. It's not like they don't have that same.
They don't hit the same.
The biggest like DMV like. Is one of the biggest.
It's like a meeting, not a con.
So like to lose that, like nothing else is gonna stand on that level in Baltimore.
Yeah.
At least not at the moment.
That makes sense.
Yeah, they gotta grow into it, man. I really want to get into the Boondocks, man. And I remember the biggest thing I took over from your panel was and I want you to kind of give us a peek of it, of what you do at your panel as well. But so he's gonna share a screen with us. But one of the things that I know for sure that I love was like I walked away with something I didn't know, like the whole Tyler Perry run and everything that you did at the panelists about Tyler Perry. How mad he got. I didn't even know that was that episode was stripped. Yeah, I did not know it was stripped because I remember watching the episode like it was nothing. So and the history you guys gave about Boondocks was
caught
just
on the first day out,
I want to share the PowerPoint.
We got you. Go ahead and
wait, hold on. There we go. Oh, there we go. I got you.
Yeah.
Wait. Let's see. Window, entire screen. Yes, do entire screen. Can you see it? That's it. Oh yeah.
Yes, sir. It's coming up. Boom. This is it right here, judo flip. You know, because you put judo flip, we kept calling you guys judo flip. And then when we were on your page, I'm like, what is fatal panics? I was just like, where's judo flip, bro?
So at point, so we just like at some point, I say, hey, at this point, we just gonna say Mitchell and Manny. Because it's like, yo, we keep messing up.
Yeah, I'm like, it's judo flip or fatal panics, bro.
Chop.
Go ahead, man. Do your thing, man. I would love for y'all to hear this, man. This man be doing his thing on here.
Yeah. So I mean, basically, like I said, we have the Boondocks is something that's like it's a very beloved property. I would say it's like one of the most beloved. I would say one of the most beloved animated properties of my generation, and it's largely because it was like the first show that truly like showed Black people being Black, like actually just being really like we had Black shows, you had like the Proud Family and things like that.
Right.
Came before this, but it wasn't. Those shows were Disney, and Disney's not going to be having a show where a bunch of people are saying the word nigga. So that's not going to happen. So
they could at least allow them. They could at least allow them to say Nizdi or something. Nizdi.
So
term that I don't know about.
Nah, I just created that shit up.
There was a young man. He was at 22 years old when his name was Aaron Magruder. When he first created the Boondocks. I don't know if you guys can hear any of. I don't know if they can. Can they hear any of the stuff and like any of the sounds or anything, or should I just
Yeah, I
verbalize
think it should.
everything?
We should be able to hear it. Go ahead.
Okay, so like for example, like Aaron Magruder, if you guys don't know kind of who he is, he started off at basically he went to the University of Maryland. While he was there, he kind of formulated the Boondocks into a comic. It was a comic strip. He had it in the Diamondback newspaper. He had it, and he kind of also had it online on hitlist.com. Hitlist was one of those early like music websites that people like in the like mid 90s when the internet was kind of just becoming a thing. That was one of the early sites that people like got music from. So he was also putting it on that. So he had done an interview. He did an interview with Charlie Rose, in which he talked about his family and his upbringing. So, where he was born, who his parents were, his dad was in the military. So after, his, service, and during his time in the service, he went back to DC. He went to the DMV area, and they lived in Columbia, Maryland for a while. And that's why he went to the University of Maryland. And then if you go to, honestly, right outside of Maryland is a mall, like Foreman Mills Mall, that have a bunch of like Boondocks related stuff. I think largely because he kind of grew up out. He kind of lived out there. Now, I think CJ, you had mentioned you didn't know that it was a comic strip beforehand.
I did not know it was a comic strip.
Yeah.
I did not.
And it was one. Yeah. And it was, and the strip itself was more of it was way more political. It spoke way more to an adult audience. It wasn't really like necessarily for kids. I would put it more up there with like Doonesbury and a lot of those Dilbert. A lot of those comics that spoke to way more mature subjects. Yes, Aaron used children to be his vessels, but he did that. I think he did that to make the information much more palatable and much easier to read. If it's coming from children, you take it differently than if it's coming from like grown people. They say the truth is told from babes, right? Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So
I feel like Aaron definitely has a lot of parallels to Huey too, and I'm sure people have made that comparison multiple times.
Yeah, a lot of people say that Huey is the voice piece of Aaron. Here Aaron, in this clip, Aaron's describing basically like what the Boondocks is for people who don't know what it is. He's explaining to them effectively that it is a racial and political like satire. It takes individuals from different walks of life with different political philosophies. You have people there like that, believe in Marxism. You have, people that have like capitalist thoughts, like, the Oncelers are your typical capitalistic family, so you have like all these competing philosophies going against each other. And that's basically kind of what, and then how those interactions impact the community and society and like our like social construct. So that for the most part is like the Boondocks as a comic strip. To take it from the script to the screen, though, Aaron needed some help. And so he reached out at one point to Reginald Hunlin, who most people know him from his work on the House Party series, those House Party movies. Yeah, he was he was the like I think director of all the House Party movies. So he was big in Hollywood at that time. And so they working with him and Aaron were friends at the time. They're not friends anymore, given how Aaron viciously satirized him in the comic strip in the 2 Band BET episodes. The image you see back here, that guy there is Hunlin. Reggie Rudlin is also is Reginald Hunlin. So they could not get it sold to Fox because Fox was like, the script is too angry. This is going to push away our sponsors. You niggas are crazy. So it fell through.
right,
That's right.
But Sony was like, you know what, we're gonna still keep the rights because maybe one day we'll be able to sell it one day. Hunlin at this point was like, you know what, screw this, I'm out. We can't sell it to TV. I got other better things to do. That better thing he wants to do, he flipped his notoriety to become president of BET, of entertainment at BET during the time in which Aaron Magruder viciously satirized BET for being a terrible network, talking down to people, getting rid of all the positive programming, replacing it with such positive programming as Hell Date and The Date with the Little Midget and this other terrible programming that did not serve to uplift the Black community. And he was responsible. He was, of course, president of entertainment. You're probably responsible for that. But Hunlin, because of contractual obligations, during like his time of like running the show to Fox and everything, he's still credited as an EP for the first 2 seasons, even though he didn't do anything. So that also angered Aaron, which is why he viciously went after him. So eventually, Aaron was able to sell the show to Adult Swim because they rewrote the pilot. A whole new pilot was created. Like the pilot that we see in the show is not the pilot that was pitched for the show. The pilot that was written for the show was the trial of R. Kelly. That was the original pilot episode for the Boondocks. However, it wasn't the first episode of Boondocks. Yeah, the first episode was the Garden Party.
The Garden Party, yeah.
Yeah. Now, why they decided to do the Garden Party before R. Kelly, I don't know. I got guesses why.
Ronald
maybe you don't want to come.
Devil, 9/11 is an inside job.
And Jesus is black.
Thank you.
Which was a good intro, by the way.
It is. It was super. It was much better than coming out and just trying to immediately start something with R. Kelly, especially when maybe that's not the right heat to come out with. And even Huey says in the R. Kelly episode, Tom, do you not understand the level of love that niggas have for R. Kelly?
Okay.
Like,
1,000%. Because I ain't gonna lie, I was on R. Kelly's side. I was on Riley's side all the way, because I used to fuck with R. Kelly. I said I used to. Not no more, but back in the day, R. Kelly was that artist for me.
I ain't come looking for no little bars.
When Lazo saw,
I ain't got no milk, no cookies, nothing.
No, nothing.
I came looking for man's butt.
Okay,
hey, chill out.
A man's butt? Excuse me?
Call you Chris Hansen.
So, oh my God. So once the pilot, like they pitched that pilot and that R. Kelly pilot to Lazo. Lazo was like, we're the network of Robot Chicken, Aqua Tea, like, this might be too tame for us. Like, honestly, I would just take 15 episodes, do whatever you want to do, like tell stories. In fact, Carl Jones, who was, like I said, one of the producers on the show, and then also a voice of Thugnificent and the Booty Warrior.
I got you. Hold on, I got you.
Now, I tell you what, I like you. And I want
you.
Now, we can do this the easy way, or we can do it the hard way.
The choice is yours.
I literally have to punch in, but it's not playing nothing.
I ain't come looking for no little bars. I ain't got no milk, no cookies, nothing. I came looking for man's butt. Oh no, I ain't come.
Let me tell. No, literally.
Yeah. So yeah, man. And the crazy thing is with the Thugnificent, like Carl Jones wasn't necessarily supposed to be either one of those voices. Thugnificent was actually supposed to be Ludacris. And that's why it kind of looks he kind of looks like Ludacris a lot. So they were in negotiations with Ludacris. They thought he was going to be able to do it, and then Carl Jones said he called Ludacris back to try to get him to come in, and then he kind of got like. And then he started trying to, and then Ludacris was like, well, you could let my boy do it instead. And there was all types of just this, that, and the third. So Carl just laid the track down himself, and they were like, yeah, we're just gonna go with this. And so that's kind of how that went with that. So they went out in 05. So in 05, the Boondocks came out in 05. 05 San Diego Comic-Con, usually around the summer. They went out and they started publicizing it, and it got like super favorable reviews. Like, people loved it. They were like, whoa, we did not expect this little black cartoon to get this much love from people. So, and then they started promoting the show. So like, they had a lot of promotional videos. You might remember some of these.
So what I just realized is because we got your original audio on mute and we're using the studio audio, we're not going to hear none of this. That's what I just realized.
Well, I will then describe it to you. This is the first one that, like, this was like one of the first like promotional videos they did. Yeah. And it's just, honestly, there's no work.
It's just Adult Swim
music. It's just Adult Swim music. So you've heard it before. So you've all heard it before. So yeah. And so the Boondocks. Okay, so all right, quick thing about the Boondocks. We all know that the Boondocks had like 4 seasons, but the Aaron Magruder only was involved with the first 3. That 4th season was made under direction of Sony. Aaron didn't have any involvement in it. As fact, you'll see no episodes that are written by Aaron Magruder or anything. You don't even see him as an executive producer in the 4th season. So I personally don't credit the 4th season to him. So I think of Boondocks as 3 seasons when it's in terms of Aaron Magruder. But yes, the 4th season does exist. There are some good episodes, but in terms of what Aaron's discography is, you had 3 seasons. The first one in 05 to 06, then it took another about, almost 2 years to do the next season, 07, 08, and then almost another 2 years, over 2 years, it looks like, in 2010, and they did it both from 5/2 2010 to 8/15 2010. So it took a long time to make. Carl Jones talks about this too. He's like, yo, like, you have to understand, like, these episodes, we worked around the clock. This was during the time when social media was not the same as it is now. So we were like nose in the dirt. We didn't know what was happening. We were around the clock, and the show was really, really hard to make, to the point where it drove like Aaron Magruder, made him actually sick, to the point where things like he actually was physically ill. Like he'd already been feeling like ill doing the comics, while he got some help writing the comic strip. But the show was taking a burden on him. He talked about sometimes how much he didn't even like doing the show as much as he used to, because it was so hard to do. So that's what we're told.
Was
when
it
people
more
like, oh yeah, go ahead, Rico, sorry.
Question, was it more of him like finding the resources of the material to put in the show that was burning him out, or was it just like the negativity and blowback of it?
Okay.
The workload.
Yeah, I think it was the workload. I think the workload, it was just super hard. That first season, for instance, you have to understand, like I said, that first thing they were doing work with Dongwoo animation studios. And so you immediately have, and the first issue that you have is the language barrier, and how certain things translate here in America don't translate over well with with Korea, or with Asian nations. Like, for example, like if Carl Jones said, like, okay, in the episode with Thugnificent, and he comes down the street, he moves into Woodcrest, and he's ghost riding the whip. We know what ghost riding the whip is. On top, ghost riding the whip. If you said that to Korean animators, they have no idea what you're talking about.
Especially back in
They're like, what?
Right. Yeah. So they would have to spend a lot of time actually demonstrating what these things are so they could get it animated. They would have to oftentimes re-storyboard stuff, redraft it. Like, that first season was extremely hard. And they talk about it on the DVD set, like how hard it was to make. LaShawn Thomas, a well-known Black animator, he's made some things that you may have liked, such as Cannon Busters and Yasuke. He worked on the first season of the Boondocks as well. He was one of the key animators on the show in the first season, and a co-director, and he talked about how hard it was, how many long sleepless nights that they spent doing this. So Boondocks was 100% a labor of love, and when you have something like that becomes that, eventually, as we'll see towards the end of the Boondocks, relationships become frayed, and sometimes things are done and said that under the heat that may not have normally been said if you guys weren't working on that constant pressure. Working for Adult Swim is fun, but it's also like it's also hard because you have to produce. And that first season, Boondocks really hit it out the park. They won a Peabody Award, the expectations were super high every season. And Aaron was the type of guy that he was a perfectionist to a certain degree. He wanted things to be right. It has his name on it. He wanted it to be right. And I, for the most part, I think he did a fantastic job.
He did a fantastic job.
He did.
No
I really
notes
would want
from
another
me.
season. I would have wanted another season by him, but now hearing how hard it was on him and everything. Damn,
I
bro.
wouldn't mind though. I wouldn't mind if he say, hey, you know what? I'm open to do some type of movie. But he's I want to break a team.
Yeah.
And like he's kind of more just telling what to.
Yeah.
More so like directing it, telling, hey, this is what I wanted. I wouldn't mind a Boondocks movie. I think it was really.
They did try to crowdfund for a Uncle Ruckus movie, and it got like $100 and something thousand, so it didn't get fully funded, so they kind of scrapped it. So there was a talk at one point for a Boondocks movie of some sort.
I could just imagine an Uncle Ruckus movie.
It's crazy.
I mean,
it's crazy. It kind of answers my question. Because I had a question for you guys, which was, would you rather spin off on Stink Meter or Uncle Ruckus?
Ooh,
a spinoff? I would love a spinoff of Stink Meter.
Yes,
I would love a spinoff of Stink Meter, bro.
Yeah,
the blind old guy.
You have to also understand we literally Stink Meter was such a good character. They did him in every season. Every season had a Stink Meter story.
Bro,
they killed him, brought him back,
younger, came back as Tom. His time in hell. Yeah.
Let me throw one more in there. One more person in there. A pimp named Slipback.
Definitely a pimp named Slipback.
That's the one right there. That's the one right there.
Yeah. Show like that.
Yeah, he absolutely could.
He really can.
That's the one right there.
So yeah, he could carry that show. So I got like 5 battles.
What you were going to say something earlier?
So y'all were talking about the strain that it put on Aaron, and I'm sure that was something that was felt across the board in the whole team. But this is just something that's very common with the anime industry in general. This is why when people talk about Attack on Titan with the latest seasons that have been coming out, and how the studio employees the popularity puts the pressure to get more content out. And so if you guys ever want to see that from like an anime perspective, there's a show called Shirobako that actually it follows a girl who I believe she's a production assistant. I have to double check, but basically she gets to run around this whole anime studio and you get to see all the different pieces like keyframing, illustration, voice over, like all of these different parts that go into making a show and exactly how it works like on the day-to-day. It's a little slice of life, like it's a fun comedy, but Shirobako, it's a really cool show that you can check out.
White Box.
Gotta check it.
Check it out. Appreciate
Gotta check it. What is this? I think I got like an Uncle Ruckus.
That's Uncle Ruckus. That's all.
That's Uncle Ruckus, bro.
Oh man.
So
yeah, Boondocks is like so clutch, man. I love the show.
The question I have for you guys was, which was the better fight? Huey versus Riley. Huey versus Ruckus with the nunchucks in the bathroom at the movie theaters. Snake Meter versus Granddad. Bushido Brown versus the Hato Crazy. Huey versus Bushido Brown. Who you guys got? Everybody can answer this question.
Wow. Fights right there, man. Damn. Which I know you fight. Rich, you already got a choice.
Bushido Brown versus the Hatocracy. You can't.
That's
you
a good
really
fight.
can't beat that one. I mean, Bushido Brown was that dude.
That was a pretty good fight. Oh man.
Huey fights though.
Yeah, I know. Right?
Oh,
I'm gonna come in.
wait. I think I got one. Did I get the one? What about? Did you say Huey and Riley versus the Hateocracy?
Yeah.
No, I said
No,
Huey
I think
versus
he did say
Riley.
that. I think he did say
You
that.
did. I think
But
I
I'm gonna
like
have
that.
to come on. I'm gonna have to come on and pick one that he didn't even give an option to. But Huey versus the Killer Kung Fu Wolf, bitch.
Bitch.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
right.
Oh yeah. Yeah, boy.
Bro, that was gas. He was just like, "You stay here. I got this. I'm gonna see how." Bro, he came back. Whoop. He was like, "We got to get out the house." That was the first time we ever see Huey actually get beat up.
Yeah,
Bad
that's
too.
true. Beat up bad. Oh wait, there's also the fight between. Oh, there's two fights. There's Riley versus Butch Magnus and Riley versus Latarian Milton too. The Latarian Milton fight is one of my favorite fights. Riley versus Latarian on the rooftop.
Yeah.
Because that track with the
That's
Rakim
rapping.
track playing. I think it's Rakim track playing in the background. Yeah,
They threw him off the roof and he survived. That buddy did
he deserved to die.
Elbow drop him like 3 stories up.
She was
He's
like,
still alive. No, we gotta kill him.
It's like, Riley, I'm sorry, I have a problem with my anger. You have problems with your weight too. Like, oh, Riley, you're so mean. Riley's so angry.
No, for real. I fucking love Riley. I think Riley's my favorite episode.
Riley is definitely up there. He's just funny.
Sure. Yeah, Riley.
In terms of funniness, he's up there. Yeah.
So who you got?
In terms of fighting, Huey's up there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, in terms of fighting, Huey's probably like the best fighter.
I don't know about that because, hey, like Uncle Ruckus said, you think you're the only one that's in the skilled art of nunchaku? Why? I was like, oh, snap.
Like, what is happening?
He was going off.
Even Huey didn't believe it. He was like, no way.
No way. None of this is happening. This is not real life.
So I think I heard everybody's CJ picked a different one.
Make an Uncle Ruckus spinoff really interesting because I know that they kind of threw that in for the entertainment value, but then going back and like explaining the story of why he has that ability.
What?
Yeah, right.
Like, how did you learn this?
How did you learn this ability?
Especially growing up in the family, because they show, what his family was like.
His upbringing was terrible.
His dad was slapping him every time for no reason.
Right. Did I just catch you wanting to be something?
That episode was so good because it was like he was like taking two classic movies and putting them together,
pushing it together.
It was so good. It was so
Nah,
good.
really, man.
Which is also like super. It's also very timely. Like the Boondocks. One thing that's like, and the thing we talk about in this panel is like Boondocks is so. It remains timely because a number of the things and incidents and people that Aaron highlights and brings attention to, events that he brings attention to, continue to come up and present itself like today. Like the whole issue with, like, he brought up the issue with, well, he and Rodney Barnes brought the issue with Tyler Perry, having issues with Tyler Perry and having issues with Tyler Perry and having Tyler Perry doing things and how he conducts business. And now you have Monique coming out on Club Shay Shay and expressing the same sentiments.
And Cat Williams.
And Cat Williams. And so you have Aaron Magruder, who some people at that time was like, oh, he's an angry guy. He's anti-black. He this, that, and the third. Wow. And I'm like, just because he's trying to make you aware of that some of your heroes aren't necessarily heroes. Like maybe you shouldn't let your daughter be listening to Chocolate Factory, and maybe you shouldn't be uplifting Bill Cosby as a spokesman to the black community. These are things that he were talking about in 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008. It is now 2024, and we are still talking about these same people. So
yeah, the truth has come to light.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing is, the truth, I would say the truth has always been in the light. It's just people are finally choosing to like see it. It's always been there. It's always been there. And so it's important. This cartoon, this anime, this property is I think is more important than, a lot of the things that, like, I think it's more important than and Family Guy's been around for a long time. I think it's more important than Family Guy. I think it's more important than American Dad. I think it's more important than these shows that we revere as like high like American, like these shows like are the heights of American shows.
Right.
This should be right alongside it because it does something different and does it in a unique way. And yes, is it controversial? Yes. The show is.
I mean,
it's polarizing.
I think
it's like all the other shows. This is more of the Black perspective of exposing stuff within our own community. Because when you bring up American Dad and Family Guy, some of the jokes that they throw in there are more like it tries to fit all the audience in, and sometimes it might cater to another audience way more. But now you're getting a show that's catering directly towards that audience.
The Black
people.
The Black people.
Yeah. I think
I would say that's the difference. That's where it hits home for a lot, and why even then, like, everybody loved it, like, because like the way we joke and the way we say shit and the Riley, why you always gotta start something? Cause you's a bitch. Like, I fucking love that scene. I fucking love the chocolate episode when Riley's sitting there like, I could just, the right thing to do is just to chill. And,
right.
But what if this was a movie?
One of my favorite episodes is when Riley write a letter to Santa telling him, "Dear Santa, you a bitch ass nigga." Hold on. Dear Santa, you a bitch. He's racing. Hold on. Dear Santa, you a bitch ass nigga.
I heard they hire extra security to protect you. That's a bitch move, Santa.
When every Santa he saw, he had the blicky on him ready to pop that Santa Claus.
The fundraiser episode, which is the chocolate episode, that's one of my favorite because I used to actually sell World's Finest chocolate. Those chocolate bars, I used to have to go out and sell those for like fundraisers and stuff. And so, at the time, I didn't realize what a great hustle that was for the candy company. But now that I think about it, wow, what a great hustle. And how much did our schools get off of the top that we just never knew?
Not enough.
There's a reason
candy companies got that.
Right. They wanted the kids to walk around and sell chocolate.
Like that's definitely one of my favorites. I love all this
learning experience too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Nah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to ask this to you guys. Most underrated character on Boondocks.
Underrated?
Yeah. It's like this character.
I think I got an answer.
Yeah.
Underrated character in Boondocks?
I think there's one.
Of course.
I think I got one.
Ooh.
Go ahead.
I mean,
who you got?
I think Tom Dubois is underrated. I think
I was just about to say the same thing.
I think Tom. I think that my reason for Tom is because Tom represents, at least idealistically, represents what the American dream is supposed to be. You have a wife, a kid, you have a good job, you have a white wife. That's controversial, but you are married.
Very controversial, but that's what
very controversial. But you have a beautiful daughter, you have a beautiful family, you have a beautiful home. It doesn't seem to be any controversy. Yeah, you and your wife have marital problems, as a lot of married couples do. That's gonna happen. Usher.
Tom's wife will be at the Super Bowl this year. Tom's wife will be at the Super Bowl this year.
Right. So I mean, I think most people see Tom as just this milquetoast, this like plain Jane, this like boring dude. And while he might be that in a lot of ways, that I think he's like the Shinji Ikari of the show. He represents the last bit of humanity left in Woodcrest. Everybody else is horribly flawed.
For me, Tom, I never seen Tom as an underrated character because I guess when I did move to Atlanta, right, and I was in the heart of Atlanta, like party back in Decatur or Fulton, where it was like, then all of a sudden my father and I was just like, hey, we're gonna just move to the outskirts of Atlanta. So that kind of were predominantly white. And so when I went there, there's a lot of people like Tom.
Sure. Yeah.
So for me, I was not. To me, there's like, there's a lot of them. I mean, a lot. And here in Charlotte, there's a lot of them here too. So therefore, it's like I don't see it as an underrated character. For me, that's common to me. I feel like he played his part.
I think that the thing about Tom is that he's representative of the Black community in a couple of different ways, right? Because we are so multifaceted. And so, he represents the American dream in one aspect, but he also represents the suburban Black in another aspect. Because, Huey and Riley moved out to Woodcrest, but Tom is clearly a Woodcrest citizen. Like, he is in the HOA. He is, the PTO. Like, he is that guy, the Black guy that gets successful and goes and marries a white woman. Like, there's so many tropes and stereotypes that have been fit into this show.
His name, guys, is Tom. Let's just break that. His name is Tom. So like that, it just screams of like, right. And Tom represents, like, he is what W.E.B. Du Bois would call a member of the talented 10th. He is that. He is what Du Bois would have you ascribe to be a member of that upper echelon, that elite. And that does come with its privileges, but it also comes with its backlash. You're going to have people of your own race consider you to be a sellout. And honestly and truthfully, is that a bad thing if you are putting your family and yourself in a better position in life and you can create generational wealth? If that's the case, sell out every day.
That is true. Having that conversation today is crazy, though.
I'm not gonna lie. That pisses me off every time. I'm sorry.
And professional athletes have to deal with this all the time. Rappers have to deal with this all the time. Like, actors, like, when you get to a certain level of fame, people want to criticize you for any and everything because you're not doing for them. When if you were to really look at what a lot of these folks are doing, they pick up a lot of people. The number of businesses that Chris Brown owns, the number of businesses that Michael Jordan owns in their hometown.
The number of businesses Shaq owns. Shaq got his hand in everything.
But in their hometowns, they're not just going out and buying franchises in random places. They're going back and sewing into their own communities.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
No, for sure. Like you said, Tom represents a number of different facets. And when I say underrated, it's not that he doesn't shed a light. They do shed a light on him. It's more of like, we could have used a couple episodes of him all. Like, we could have seen a couple more outside of the...
I mean, we did get 1 or 2 episodes on him.
We got the Usher
but
episode.
usually with him in like a very like he's in distress in some way.
Yeah. We got the jail episode.
Like, his girl got took by Usher, or he was trying to save his booty. My booty is mine. You cannot have my booty.
Tom, shut the fuck up, Tom.
Who you gonna say?
Go ahead.
Like, Tom's daughter, honestly.
Jasmine.
So just
Jasmine's sheltered.
There's not a lot of representation of women in the Boondocks. If there's one criticism that I would have of it, I would say
that's a common criticism.
Any women that are like central main characters.
They're not.
Think about it. Like, the mom is not there, grandma's not there. So having
that's fair.
Just a like positive female like character that could carry some episodes. I mean, Aaron's probably writing from his own perspective, so you can't expect everything from every creator. But if there's one thing I would say is missing, it probably would be that to me.
As much as you point that out, I feel like as much as that would have been great to see, I feel like it takes away from single father parenthood that we get to experience from the show. Because
absolutely, that's what I'm saying. You can't get everything.
You can't get everything because in a lot of Black community is always shown as Black fathers are not in the household. So to see granddad in the household, that was very, very like
I appreciated that.
And very, very appreciative. Like, no matter what. So I was like, I get what you're coming from.
100%
get what you're coming from.
Definitely get what you're coming from.
No, for sure.
And I think that a big reason that it's hard for, especially sometimes for shows like the Boondocks, to have prominent women in cast is that you don't have enough women writers in the writers room. You need to have more women in the rooms when the decisions are being made. Be like, hey, this scene could use a woman.
Yeah.
And who's not gonna write that woman? This whole room full of guys.
Right.
Now, Shotty, who was running the chocolate trade in the streets, she was going somewhere.
Before we finish up,
and she can play basketball. She was crossing Riley up. What?
She was.
Cindy Pearson, Tara Strong. We all got to meet her at she was at GalaxyCon Austin. She's legit a cool ass like woman. Just down. She voices everybody. She's Bubbles. She's Timmy Turner. She's Raven.
I heard about her. Yes, I need to meet her. I would love to meet her.
Timmy Turner. Yeah. She's everybody. So when I met her and I talked to her, like, yeah, we do a Boondocks panel. Her eye, yeah, she's great. Her eyes lit up. She was like, oh my gosh. She was like, you know what? Somebody should do an actual like Boondocks con. I was like, oh well, stay tuned.
So what I was saying before we close on, we gotta do this. This is a freestyle, flavor. And as I was putting this episode together and jotting some notes, and I was trying to find this, so I'm gonna maybe let us do it. But since we all consider Boondocks now anime, who could we see Riley beat up, bro? How far could y'all scale Riley? I was trying to throw a battle at him.
Huey. I'll go with Huey. Can we throw Huey?
Not Riley. My bad, y'all boys. Not Riley. I meant Huey, not Riley. Who could y'all see?
I'm
sorry
Riley.
about that. Not
Riley.
Yeah. I meant to say Huey. I'm sorry about that.
I mean, we saw Huey. Yeah, we saw Huey. Huey got skills.
First of all, he definitely beaten all of Demon Slayer. All of that.
Then they hate Demon Slayer. Then nigga hate Demon Slayer.
I'm talking about the Hashira.
Tanjiro got that farm boy strain.
Hashira?
We talking about the niggas who can cut through stone? You're bugging. Riley, Huey is a regular child. Relax. He got skill. Don't get me wrong, but he is still a child. We've seen Riley, Huey get beat up. Let's pump our brakes.
He would slice that stone.
Yeah, I really think so. He got the skill. Think about it. And also, you think about that glove he was using.
The Black Power Fist.
Like, I feel like y'all really trying to use it right now. I really feel like y'all doing it. Y'all really trying to use it.
We seen Huey get his sword smacked out of his hand by a frying pan. You're not about to tell me that this guy's cutting through a bone.
We also do we not see Huey out here messing with guns and stuff like that as well too, and like dodging that as well? Like,
no, he didn't dodge.
It
guns,
was
bro.
a BB gun, but okay.
BB gun,
it was a BB gun, but okay.
So okay,
they not real guns, but okay.
Not
all
real.
I'm saying is this: Huey can do it.
I mean,
not Demon Slayer.
Like trying to compare Slice of Life to Shonen. Though,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right.
It's very heavily reality
based in reality. We would have to like actually like give Huey powers if we drop him into the Demon Slayer universe to make it kind of fair.
I'm just saying,
if Huey became a demon, that'd be a different story. He'd be gassed.
I'm just saying though, if Demon Slayers, right? Check this out though. In Demon Slayer, the Hashira
he running with
techniques are not really real. It's just sword play.
Also,
that's what I'm saying.
He's also the youngest.
Their stuff isn't real. Yes, their sword effects isn't real, but their physical attributes is real. That's them. They jumping 30 feet in the air. That's real. They can't fake that.
Those physical attributes, Huey can do it. That's all I'm trying to say. I truly think Huey can do it.
Okay, so if we drop in Huey
15, 16, and he's going, I would want to put him in like Hunter x Hunter and see how far he would go with the Hunter exam.
In the Hunter exam.
That or Samurai Shampoo. I throw him in Samurai Shampoo, see how far he'll get.
Oh yeah. Oh well, if he's just accompanying, Fu around, I think he'll be okay because Mugen and Jin weren't like. They weren't supernatural. They were just
they was really good.
It was really good.
That's what I put them.
Yeah, I put.
I was gonna say
I
Afro
think
Samurai,
he,
but I think Afro would be a little too much for him.
Afro was too ill.
Yeah.
Afro
can't
was
dump him in that
Afro was
universe.
mad
He
ill.
nasty with it, man.
And some
That's
life
what
or
was
death
nasty with
situation.
it, man.
Yeah.
You would have to see a different side of Huey.
Yeah, Afro. Oof.
Literally,
Apple won't even play with him, bro. Like,
he ain't got time to babysit.
yeah.
But
Shout
nah,
out
man.
Riley.
Shout out
He
Riley.
used to
Shout
play
out
cops and
Huey.
robbers with the babysitter. That was one of my favorite Riley scenes ever. He was just like, "What do y'all want to do? You want to play cops and robbers? I wouldn't." That be tied up, just like $13 and a prepaid phone. Wow, get in the head with the phone. I was just like,
That's when he finally sent Ruckus to babysit them, and Ruckus was with the shit.
Yeah.
Literally.
He even said
man.
they was crazy. He was like, "They crazy."
They are.
But I appreciate you guys coming on, man. I appreciate you guys driving up to North Carolina to our home base studios. Shout out to
North Carolina.
Charlotte Studios again. Y'all drove down. Oh yeah, you guys drove down, not up. My bad. It's because we in Florida, so everything's up to me.
Well,
I automatically
and
say
to be fair, directions are pretty relative anyway. It can be. You can go up.
I wouldn't be a Zora fan if I don't mess up my directions. So, but nah, man, I really appreciate you guys coming on. I look forward to seeing more of your panels. I look forward to crossing path again with you guys at another fun convention. I'm sure we will. We're eyeballing some of the same conventions you guys are at, and I definitely would want to come out to one of y'all hometown convention next year and see how we could get up in there. But man, we really do appreciate you guys in your time, bro.
And appreciate your time too, man. This is great. I love that y'all sharing this platform with us. And yeah, definitely, I think collaborations is what definitely really help build this community, and it helps make us all better. Iron sharpens iron, and so that's what we need to keep doing in this community.
Yes, sir. Let them know where they can find you guys on your socials and pages and stuff like that.
Yeah. We are at fatal_fanatics on Instagram. So that's at fatal_fanatics. We're at Fatal Fanatics on Facebook. What else do we have? We have a website, www.fatalfanatics.com. On that page, you can find the prologue of the book I am writing as well. So there is it's in line editing, copy editing right now. So hopefully it'll be out this year. So you'll find that. You'll find some pictures from other cons. So we're trying to get that page going. And then we'll be at the next convention CaptivaCon's coming up. So there's an organization called New Blurred Order that we do partnership with sometimes. They're out of Bowie State, and so they're going to be doing a panel there. Likely go out there to support them. But then our first official panel, it will be an event, will be AwesomeCon, March 8th through the 10th. Our panel, the 2024 Anime Trivia Challenge, will be on March 8th. That's at Friday at 8:30 p.m. So come out and win some prizes, lots of good games, lots of fun. And then we'll be tabling as well. We'll have a table in the dealer's room where we'll be having some more games, some merchandise and gear we'll have to sell. You can buy a Fatal Fanatics shirt. There's a graphic on the back. Hold on, if I can turn it around.
Look at that merch.
So our Femme Fatale design, so you can wear that. And then, come out and see us and meet us and have a good time. March 8th through the 10th in Washington, D.C.
Yes, sir. What were you saying, Mitchell? Earlier, I did cut you off a little bit.
I don't even remember now. I got to think about it. No, I definitely said I appreciate what y'all been doing with the YouTube shorts, and I like all your social media activities. I think that a lot of the conversations that you guys have could get spun off into panels too. If you look back at some of the things that you guys have discussed online, a lot of those conversations happen, I think, at a lot of the conventions that I've been to. And that's really, to me, the kind of content that people like to see, because at least when I was at DreamCon, they had a whole panel that was just dedicated to like redeeming unredeemable characters. Like you know, what was Light Yagami right?
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
Do you side with Eren Yeager?
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing. So like,
I remember that.
Rico, I'm cooking some ideas. Rico,
cooking and cooking and cooking.
There's some great things that you guys could do with that, I think.
Yeah.
And I just think that it's really great to see you guys and to meet you guys, and just to be able to be out here, you know, contributing to that growth.
And it's the same, just know it's reciprocated right back. Oh my God,
I saw your tongue tied up as you were speaking. I was like, oh.
He's tied up.
Gotta keep it tied.
Well, man, we appreciate that, and hopefully we could do this again in person with all four of us, all three of us, the hosts. So it'd be 5. So we could do this again, man. And we out, man.
Peace. Damn, goddamn, I'm thinking of Shamar podcast. Wow.